12 bodies charred in the Andalusian hills, 4 found trapped inside their cars. France is still counting bodies from the last heatwave. Germany has suffered 5,000 dead. And Europe is entering its third heatwave of the summer. Europe's heatwave is no longer just setting temperature records. It's now overwhelming hospitals, mortuaries, and emergency services. The continent is not recovering, it is burning. Southern Europe is facing one of its deadliest climate emergencies in recent years. Spanish authorities say at least 12 people have died after a fast-moving wildfire swept through Los Gallardos in Andalusia. Several victims were discovered inside burned vehicles while attempting to escape the flames, while 6 others were injured and around 1,000 residents were evacuated. Authorities are still investigating the cause of the blaze. Witnesses reported that a fallen electricity line may have ignited dry vegetation before strong winds and temperatures above 40 degrees Celsius caused the fire to spread rapidly through nearby forests. Around 150 firefighters, supported by Spain's military emergency unit, remain deployed as crews work to contain the wildfire. Andalusia's Minister of Health and Emergencies, Antonio Sanz, described the situation as an unprecedented tragedy and urged residents to avoid the affected areas and coordinate evacuation routes with emergency services.
There are no words for such pain. This is terrible news, and today the hearts of all Andalusians are in mourning. The absolute priority right now is to save lives, and that is what all operational services are working tirelessly to achieve.
Spain has again issued heat warnings across several regions, and France expects temperatures to remain elevated into next week, while authorities continue monitoring wildfire risks across southern Europe. Spain's Prime Minister Pedro Sánchez has expressed condolences to the victims' families and praised the efforts of firefighters and military emergency units deployed to contain the flames. Regional authorities have described it as the deadliest wildfire ever recorded in Andalusia.
Immense sadness and desolation in the face of the terrible consequences of the fire affecting the province of Almeria. I want to convey my condolences to the families of those who died in the Los Gallardos forest fire. My wishes for a speedy recovery to the injured and my solidarity with all the affected neighbors.
The deadly wildfire comes as the wider heatwave continues to claim lives across Europe. In France, preliminary figures released by the National Institute of Statistics show nearly 9,000 deaths were electronically registered between June 22nd and June 28th, the week during which the country's heatwave reached its peak. Officials estimate the period saw around 2,025 excess deaths, although they caution the figures remain incomplete because electronic certificates account for only around 60% of all registered deaths. Health authorities say the final death toll is expected to increase as additional certificates are processed. The surge in fatalities has overwhelmed funeral services, particularly in Paris, where mortuaries rapidly reached capacity. France's public health agency says more than 85% of those whose deaths were registered during the most intense phase of the heatwave were aged 65 years and older, while deaths occurring inside private homes increased sharply, particularly around the Paris region. Germany is reporting a similarly severe impact. The Robert Koch Institute estimates that 5,120 people have died from heat-related causes so far this year. More than 4,270 of those deaths involved people aged 75 years and above. Scientists have repeatedly warned that climate change is increasing both the frequency and intensity of European heatwaves. With another period of extreme temperatures forecast, emergency services across the continent remain on heightened alert. Germany has recorded more than 5,000 heat-related deaths so far this year, making it one of the deadliest summers in recent memory as Europe continues to grapple with extreme temperatures. The Robert Koch Institute, Germany's National Public Health Agency said an estimated 5,120 people have died due to the effects of heat in 2026. Most of those deaths occurred during the intense heatwave that swept across the country in late June, when weekly average temperatures climbed well above 20 degrees Celsius. According to the Institute, the victims belonged mainly to the older population, highlighting the disproportionate impact of extreme heat on elderly populations.
Around 4,270 of the deaths were among people aged 75 and older. More women than men died, mainly because they make up a higher share of the very old.
Officials also reported that more women than men died, largely because women make up a greater share of Germany's oldest age groups. The figures come as neighbouring France is also reporting a sharp rise in deaths linked to the same heatwave. French authorities said preliminary data showed more than 2,000 excess deaths during the final week of June, with electronic death registrations indicating nearly 9,000 deaths nationwide over 7 days. Officials cautioned that the figures remain incomplete because electronic certificates account for only about 60% of all deaths. The extreme temperatures also overwhelmed funeral services in Paris, where mortuaries ran out of space and families faced delays arranging burials. Health experts warn that heat-related deaths are often underestimated because many victims die from existing cardiovascular or respiratory illnesses worsened by prolonged exposure to high temperatures. Scientists have repeatedly linked the increasing frequency and intensity of European heat waves to climate change, warning that prolonged periods of extreme heat are becoming one of the continent's deadliest natural hazards. Public health officials continue urging residents, particularly older adults and those with underlying medical conditions, to stay hydrated, avoid prolonged outdoor exposure, and check regularly on vulnerable neighbours as high temperatures persist across parts of Europe.